at that, it's Jetfire o'clock. Yes, y'all, looks like Generations has finally taken the plunge into the leader size class, and who better to mark that not insignificant milestone than this eternally oversized Superfly science guy. Must admit though, at first I was a bit like, what? Because we've already got 06 Jetfire, right? And this guy's kind of important to me. Like, he was the first Voyager I got when I started doing this.
This is Jetfire. He's really cool.
But that was 8 years ago. And looking at him now with his po-face proportions and weird joints, he does look about ready for bed. I'll always love him, but he's an old school player, and the game done changed. So here we are in the future space year of 2015 with this absolute astro babe of a leader class G1 style jet and or Skyfire, busting onto the scene with a two-pronged agenda of actually looking like he did in the show and sealing the deal on the Bandai hat trick. Because as we know, the original Jetfire was based off an old Macross Valkyrie. I say based, it is a Macross Valkyrie, which is cool and all, but it is a Bandai toy, which meant that things got a bit real when he had to go on the telly. So following the ensuing licensing nightmare, Hasbro had to change his outfit a bit and his name for some reason. All of which means there's kind of two of this guy, and this is the poor sod who's been tasked with keeping everybody happy. So how have we got on? Not too shabby, I'd say. But there's definitely got a heavy Skyfire vibe on the go, and he certainly cuts an impressive stance. Looking hella tight and milky white, towering over his contemporaries and making his predecessor look very sad indeed. Too bad, Grandad! Jetpod's a tastily detailed eyegasm, with the square little belly window and the affectionate anime styles. Arms are looking pretty stacked there, with the hefty escape pod shoulders and the neat sort of angled hands. Legs are likewise fairly fetching. They just nail it with the dreamy smooth panels and little nuances. Man, this kind of styling just makes it so easy to forget it's a Transformer toy and not some other insane robot from some Caesar-inducing show with an unknowable name. Now, I was all ready to hate on the backpack with the work-in-progress scaffoldy wings and inexcusable cockpit kibble. Cockpibble? Have I done that one? But honestly, I'm kind of into it. The wings actually look really decent in person, and the cockpit is quite bad. Head pulls it back a bit though with the distinguished mush and an ocean of light piping. Look at this bitchin' little mask. Check that out, it just looks so swish and speedy. Keeping it as a faceplate just works so much better than the 06 guy's full head helmet on his little Goomba bonce. So he's a smidge sexy, top marks on that, but he does carry a faint whiff of the unfinished. Like the 3-stage shoulders leave him looking a bit cobbled together, with the ugly collarbone dips and his arms literally barricaded off from his body. The hips unpegged from the dick zone rather more easily than I'd like. Add to that the empty-ass limbs and slightly heavy joints, and even the ratcheting feels a bit diseased. The whole thing just comes off a little bit hollow and lightweight, but that's kind of okay because he comes with a plethora of accessories. Yes, indeed, old Jetfie's rocking a personal arsenal. Arsenal? With like 2 huge bitch rifles, a couple of cheeky wrist cannons, tasty little pistol zooka, and this friggin' gargantuan double death ray backpack. They're fairly nicely done and all, but they're mostly just lifeless thin plastic, which is pretty basic considering the one from nearly a decade ago had like the spring-loaded flip-over cannons and twice as many launchers. But they're actually annoyingly entertaining. They're posted and ported up to buggery so you can do like all the combination, and like the backpack can stand proud and erect or it can shrivel down for some subtle storage. There's room for a couple more back here, which is a handy get-out clause for the dumb as rocks leg mountage. No thank you. So they're not without their charms, but I'm not sure how I feel about the overly festive Crimbo Chrome. Crimbrome? But if you're not into it, you'll be glad to know it'll happily scratch itself off. So yeah, not a bad old bot. Jetfire toys tend to be a lot of fun, and this guy's definitely a decently arresting large lad with one foot firmly in Japan. He gives me that same sort of ticklish trepidation that makes me not want to look too long at most Japanese robots, because if I let them, those things would cost me a fortune. But this, in spite of its faults, will certainly do. Transform! Transformation's very not bad. Because if you're like me, and you probably are a bit, then you'd have just been expecting a big old minimal effort seeker affair. But it's actually totally unexpectedly inventive, and it settles down satisfyingly into this seamless superjet. Check out the alt mode on that. Definitely one of the most ridiculously good looking jet modes I've seen in a long time. Yes! Big and sassy and built for speed. With like these badass variable wings and the huge fat engine balls. Love the style and rounded nose cone with the vaguely rubbery but still brutally hard tip. It's just so much more Jetfire than the classic guy's clunky wedge face, and the cockpit's an absolute gas. Smidge of underkibble going on, but it's all tidily and improbably stashed, so it's hard to say mad at it, and he can just about blag an extremely sketchy girl walk that needs a wee. Once again, you can get your weapon on in practically innumerable ways. It's bizarre to think that these are mostly the same weapon ports as the robot mode. Like, the legs make way more sense, but the rifle never doesn't look dumb. But this is just so sex, and it makes a wicked aeroboss for any fledgling Autobot Sky Squad, and it's big. So yes, Leader 2014 Jetfire is sleek, sexy import with turbo handling. I guess the whole Leader thing's always been pretty vague as to what counts as one. Like, it ranges from painfully over-engineered masterpiece grade fellas to simple gimmick heavy chunk lumps. And this guy totally fits in there somewhere, but I don't know if it feels like as much of an event as it should. He sort of feels more like a big ass deluxe, and I'm kind of okay with that, because when all's said and done, he's pretty friggin' boss. Leader class loving this time to Joshua Huff and the blokes and babes at toydojo.com. Say my name.
Be sure to subscribe for more Thew's awesome Transformers reviews. 2 waves late since 2008.